Welcome back, everybody, to another episode here on the Oshay Duke Jackson main channel. I am your host, Oshay Duke Jackson. For those of you who were in the live stream waiting for the show to start, I do apologize. It's totally my fault. You know, I'm on colored people's time, but nevertheless, we are here today. For those of you come in and like the video, for those of you in the restreaming audience, thank you for coming and joining as well. I have a very, very special guest today, and it's quite interesting how we met. We didn't meet through YouTube, although he is a YouTuber with a pretty sizable audience, over 5,000 subscribers. And but anyways, if you guys notice the thumbnails on this channel that you guys have been praising me a lot for, that's not of my doing. That is Salman. So he does some work for us here. You know, on the channel and also on the blog, and we'll be collaborating. We'll be having some collaborations. I'll be going to Serbia soon, working with him. So that's what you see. So the edification on the channel that you've been seeing is not me; it's actually him that's been doing that. So want to thank him for his contributions. But today we're talking to Salman of the Black and Ginger YouTube channel, and the name of the show is "I Didn't Feel Safe in the USA, So I Moved to Serbia." What's going on, Salman? How are you doing today?
I'm doing very good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, bro. And I definitely thank you for your thumbnails and editing and things that you've been contributing here. Before we get in the interview, let's tell people like where you from originally, and what brought you to YouTube.
I'm originally from Nigeria. I lived 20 years of my life in Nigeria, and after I finished university in 2016, then I moved to the US to work, and that was where I met my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
We're working together, and after 6 months of working in the US, she went back to her country. She came back to Serbia, and I remained in the US because I had a 2 years work visa. And after 1 year of staying in the US, things kind of like a lot of things happened. A lot of things influenced my decision, and I decided to like uh, come over to Serbia here. And like I actually came to visit for 3 months. You know, I came for a 3 months visit to move back after 3 months, but things happened and things changed, and I decided to stay back. And actually, the YouTube channel was my girlfriend's idea at first, and I didn't like the idea at first. You know, I wasn't interested in doing relationship stuff on YouTube. You know, but when she came up with the idea, she was really, really excited about it. You know, she talked about it with so much happiness, and I didn't want to crash that. You know, so I just kind of like, okay, you know, we'll do it. Let's do it, even though I wasn't interested in it at first. But with time, since I started it, and the support has been really crazy. Actually, I didn't expect that kind of support because I thought, I mean, like, there's a lot of interracial couples on YouTube. What makes us special? Like, why would anybody want to watch us? You know. But surprisingly, it's been really, really great. You know, it's been growing faster than I thought it would grow. So YouTube wasn't totally my idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, it's very interesting as your story is a little similar to mine as far as YouTube. I didn't come to YouTube to do anything, and I'm kind of stuck here. Let me talk about this. You're from Nigeria. Nigeria is a huge country. What part of Nigeria? I know there's a north region that's predominantly Muslim. What part of Nigeria are you from?
I'm from North Central, actually, from the capital, Abuja.
Okay.
That's where I live. But my hometown originally is from the West.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Once you graduated university, if you don't mind me asking, what did you study?
I studied international law and diplomacy.
Law and diplomacy. Okay. So it sounds like a pretty big deal. Why did you um, want to come to the United States soon after you graduated?
Well, I mean, as you all know, Nigeria is a third world country. You know, things are not the way it's supposed to be. You know, just because I mean, it's hard enough for those who go to school and graduate, and you can only imagine how hard it is for those who don't even go to school at all. You know, so going to school and finishing university in Nigeria doesn't guarantee a stable income. You know, because you finish a 4 year or 5 years a degree course, and you have to serve the country for 1 year. and after that you're on your own. Like the country doesn't push for anything for you if you don't have connections, if you don't know people.
Mhm.
If your parents don't know people, you don't have connections, there's nothing for you, and that's my case. My mom is not connected, my dad is not connected, so I just had to find something for myself, and I found that opportunity to go to the US. It was really expensive, but I'm glad my mom and my dad tried to, put in some cash together, and they pushed until I went. That's kind of the reason why I left, because I had to make money. I had to fend for myself and not hope on my parents, because I have three other younger ones. I'm not. They already sent me through school onto university, and I'm done with university. I can't just stay back and keep hoping on them to keep taking care of me.
What was the process like? Because most of my audience, as you know, is an American audience. We know nothing about having to try to get to the visas to go to anyone else's country for the most part, unless it's just for visiting. But what was the process like getting a work visa to come to the United States?
It was actually very difficult, but I was lucky compared to the rest of my friends. A lot of them got rejected. Some people had to apply twice and go take their interviews in two different states where they wouldn't realize. But for me, I just did it once, and it was kind of easy. But I did it with an agency actually. That's kind of why it was a little easy. All I did was just pay them the money, give them the paperwork that they need, and they did all the applications for me. But still, you still have to go there and pass the interview. And that day I spent the whole day at the embassy, because there's a lot of people trying to go into the US.
Mhm.
And it was a really long line the whole day. And in the embassy, they don't sell food in the embassy. There's no cafeteria where you can buy food or anything. So it's like the whole day you're there, no food, nothing. There's no seats to sit down. It's a long line. You're just standing until you finally get to the interviewer, and she asked me a couple of questions. I mean, I think it's just confidence. If you play confidence, and you most of the questions they ask you, they already have the answers on the screen. They just want to know if you're going to give a different answer, or if you're going to fidget when you give an answer. I was just confident. I played confidence. I answered the questions. I made sure I said everything just like it was in the paper, and I just smiled. Like, because the agency told us all they want is, they just want you, they want someone who's they like happy people, basically. So you have to go there, play confident, smile at them, make jokes and laugh at jokes that they make. Basically, that's what I did. So it wasn't really difficult for me, but I can't say that for every other person.
Hmm. Let me ask you. Once you got the visa and all of that, what was the process of actually? Did you have any family in the United States? Did you know anybody at all there? Or?
I'm the only one from my family outside the country.
Okay, so once you got, I mean, because I'm living in Poland, as you know, and I'll be in Serbia to see you pretty soon.
Yeah.
'Cause we're going to be collaborating on some things. But you know, when I came here to Poland, I came, for medical university, medical school. Um, so I cannot imagine what it would be like if I were just coming here. I didn't know anybody, didn't have any employment, and just kind of didn't know the language. Well, actually, I mean, you speak English, so but
Yeah.
how did you find? Um, where were you going in the United States, and then how did you find employment?
Well, the agency found me employment, but the thing is, the agency just finds you an employment, and you pay them, and they book your flight ticket, and that's all. How you get to your destination is none of their business. You know, and when I left Nigeria, I was 20 years old, but I was excited to leave. Because I was excited to be independent. I was excited to start making money and start supporting my family. I was excited about a lot of things. I was excited to go to the US. Too many things. So I wasn't really thinking about safety or anything. I was just, let me get there and I'll figure out something. And not until I landed in Chicago. When I landed in Chicago, then I was like, oh wow, I didn't plan this. How am I going to get to Michigan from Chicago? I had no idea how the buses work or how train works, because how buses work in Nigeria is different from how buses work in the US. And we don't even have trains in Nigeria. Not until recently, the trains started working. So when I got to Michigan, I traveled with two other girls from Nigeria, from the same university as me. But their employers already had an arrangement on how to get them to Michigan from the airport. But I was lost. I didn't know what to do. Until I kind of just went to them. I talked to them because we were in friends, and I asked them how are they going to find their way, and they told me how they were finding their way, and I just kind of like begged them if I could tag along, and I just tagged along. And when we got to Michigan, we went our separate ways. They went their way, I went my way, and it was just me alone. It wasn't lonely. It was kind of exciting, just walking around, and the island I worked had a lot of Jamaicans. It was a very diverse island. It had a lot of Jamaicans, a lot of Europeans, everyone from all over the world. So it was very exciting for me, just going out and meeting people and talking to people, and that's how I made all my friends, and I still keep in touch with them, and that's where I met my girlfriend too. So it wasn't really scary at first.
Let me ask you this: what kind of job were you working at? What was it?
I had a lot of jobs. I worked in a fast food restaurant where I flip burgers and stuff like that. I
Mhm.
worked in a hotel for housekeeping. I worked in a haunted house where I scared people and stuff like that. And yeah, I worked as a stock boy also. Those are the jobs I did in Texas, in Michigan.
Okay. So you're in Michigan now. Let's talk about you meeting your girlfriend now. How does she um she's from Serbia obviously, but how does she what was her process in coming to the United States?
It was kind of the same as my process through an agency. It's like a work and travel program, something like that, for students, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
So it
Okay.
was it was kind of the same process too. She paid them, she went through the visa process, the same thing, passed the interview, and then you travel.
Now let me ask you this. You're in the United States and people are in the chat right now. We have about almost 100 people. Actually, we have 100 people watching right now. People can't believe that Serbia is more safe than the United States. But obviously, you live there, and I mean, I live in Poland, and I can definitely say that Poland is definitely more safe than the United States, even though Poland can be a little racist. But when did you start to feel that okay, I'm not feeling safe here in the USA as I thought I would?
In 2016, when I first got to the US, that was the time around the whole summertime,
Hmm.
summer and the winter and the autumn. That was the time when police brutality was really, really, really serious. Like it was recurring almost every day. There was a case almost every day. It's like one name finishes trending and then another one starts. I think that's when the hashtag Black Lives Matter also started. And for me, it was crazy because I was always thinking about it, like if this shit is happening to so many different people, and it wasn't happening in one state, it was happening in everywhere, and I just kept wondering, like, when is it going to happen to me, like when is it going to be my turn? Because when I watch all those videos, I just thought about, like, those people wake up in the morning just to go do their daily life activities, and then somehow, some way, you get caught up with the police, and then one mistake and you're gone. And that wasn't it. Also, I mean, there were also a lot of school shootings and club shootings, and the drive-by that happened in New York. There was a guy who drove with his truck, with his van, and he was just like he's playing GTA and just killing people, and stuff like that. It just kept bugging my mind and bothering my mind, like, when is this going to happen to me? And I got pulled over by the cops a few times also, and I didn't feel safe because, like, you're pulling me over, and I have my two hands on the steering wheel, but you have one hand on your gun, and it's like, I mean, I'm obviously like this, I'm not going to do anything, you
Hmm.
know. It made me feel like if I made one simple mistake, he's going to
Hmm.
shoot me, because that's how it happened. That's how I saw it in the videos. All you have to do is just make one false move and you're gone. They'll just shoot you instead of tasing you and stuff like that. And also, I got threatened twice at the club and at work. I got threatened by a guy at the club because I stepped on his shoes while I was dancing, even though I apologized.
Okay.
And, and when I first got to the club, I met two guys who were from Nigeria. And I kind of like just rapport with them. It was because after 6 months in Michigan, I moved to Texas, and I was living in Odessa. I don't know if you've heard of Odessa. I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
like, yeah, that's the most dangerous city in Texas.
Mhm.
So it was a club in Odessa, and I stepped on the guy. So after like 5 minutes, a few two guys, the Nigerian guys, came to me and they told me to please leave because that guy said he has a gun and he's going to shoot me just because I stepped on his shoes. And I was lost, like, I stepped on your shoes and I apologized. And now you want to shoot me, And the second one was at work, because in Texas I worked in a liquor store. And you know how the US goes with underage drinking and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So when you work in that store, when you work in a liquor store in Texas, if you sell alcohol to a minor, you get fined $8,000. You spend almost 10 years in jail. And after that, you get deported. I mean, I wasn't going to risk that, So the usual procedure was if a customer looks younger than 30, then you ID them, And there was this guy and his girlfriend. They came and they pulled over in the parking lot. I saw them, because there's cameras everywhere. And they both came in and she bought alcohol, but he wasn't buying. He was just with her, And I asked for her ID. She gave me her ID. And I asked for his, and he said he doesn't have his. And I told him, well, I can't sell to you guys if you don't have yours, because I'm not sure if she's buying for you. And he said, well, she's not buying for me. And he walked out, And I told her, I'm sorry, I can't sell to you because you both came here, And she went out. And he came back, He came back. And he told me that I'm just lucky that there's cameras everywhere. He will fucking shoot me. And he showed me his gun. And for the next 1 week, I kept watching over my shoulders, because it's like, all I was trying to do is just do my job and not get in trouble, and all of that. And then Trump won the election, and everything, a lot of things just didn't make any sense to me anymore, That's why I made my decision. I'm like, nah, I'm leaving this place, like, I came here to make money, I can make money anywhere else in Europe also, I don't have to die just because I'm trying to make money.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask something, Salman, because me and you have talked briefly.
Yeah.
You're Nigerian. I'm African American. We talk about how we see Black people in different forms. We have a different view of Africa and African Americans having a relationship and stuff like that. I'm a little bit more, I would say, negative about it than you. You have a more positive outlook. But let me ask you this: when you came to the United States, what was your relationship with African Americans in your interaction?
To be very honest,
mm-hmm.
It's not in a bad way, but I didn't have any African American friend. I just couldn't connect with anyone. I just couldn't. Most of my friends were Jamaicans.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my friends were foreigners, basically. The only Americans that I was friends with, I worked just because I worked with them, and it's nothing bad. Americans are just very different people, Mm-hmm. They have a different upbringing, different lifestyle, different everything, and I just couldn't connect with them. So we just weren't real friends, It was just, we work together and we say hi and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The person that threatened you, was that a Black person or
both? They were both Black.
Both Black, and assuming like both Black American, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me do this, and I'll shout out to Super Chat. Thank you guys for the support. Do me a favor, brothers. If you want to check out Black and Ginger's content, my man, he has a channel with his girlfriend. Go in the description, subscribe. He has some really good stuff. Over 5,000 subscribers. If you guys see the new thumbnails on the channel, this is the brother that's behind all of that. We're going to be doing some pretty interesting things. He's going to be doing some collaborations with me in Serbia. So we're going to have some different content. So he's a very talented guy. Very, very talented. So do me a favor, get the likes up on the video and let's subscribe to his channel here. Let me talk to you about this. Now, you're a Nigerian person and your girlfriend is Serbian. When you were dating in the United States, did you also feel there was some hostility because you had a Serbian girlfriend or white?
Well, for a long time, we just kept it secret because she actually also had a problem in the United States. She wasn't comfortable with anybody because she was Serbs are really, really hardworking people, as in Eastern Europeans in general. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know that. They're really hardworking people. And she happened to be the boss's favorite because she's hardworking, So okay. She was in charge. And she had to tell us what to do and what not to do. And because of that, nobody liked her, So she didn't have a good first impression in the US too. She didn't like it also. So when we started dating, we just kind of just kept it secret and we didn't we didn't date in public until it was just 1 month left, and it was okay. I mean, it still wasn't weird. No one said anything bad or anything. It was just good.
Let me kind of backtrack real quick. When you were in the United States, and I've heard this from certain, brothers from like Africa or from the Caribbean, when they come to the United States, everybody automatically assumes that you're just rolling the dough. Your family has their hands out. Everybody thinks you're rich now. What pressures did you have, as a young Nigerian man, working in the United States, and people back in Nigeria are probably thinking that you're getting really rich.
Yeah, well, it wasn't easy because I mean, from not having shoes and wearing just flip flops to having shoes and having clothes and having a car and having all of that, it's really difficult to tell people, hey, I don't have money, you know? But they don't understand that, they see that you're living the life, they see you're flexing, they see your life has changed.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know it's just, I mean, okay, yes, it changed, like I can afford a lot of stuff I couldn't afford before, like I have an Xbox now. My whole life, I struggled to even get a computer, and now I have a console and a computer.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not gonna say it's not way easier. It's way easier, but I mean, like I have my own family to take care of. I have my mom. I have three younger brothers. I have cousins. I have grandma. I have people to take care of, but people don't understand that. Everyone, when they have problems, they come to me. I mean, I try to help some. I help the ones I can help, and the ones that I can't help, then I'm sorry. So it's actually really difficult, even until till today. Like I still help people, like if I can help, I'll help. If I can't, I'll explain to you and tell you I'm at a tight angle right now, and I can't help. Sometimes some people believe, sometimes some people don't. But I mean, it is what it is.
Let me ask this, and now I'll shout out the super chats in a minute. Guys, get the likes up on the video. We have 163 people watching, 39 likes. Y'all know that is not good. So if you're here, come in and like the video. Now, your family, I mean, obviously, they're probably very, very excited that you are in America, the land of opportunities.
Yeah.
Nigerians are the most successful group out of any minority in the United States. They even beat Asians. They're even doing better than most whites. And then your family is going to find out that you're leaving to go to Serbia. What does your family think about that?
They didn't like the idea at first, but I mean, I explained myself to them. I explained everything, and my mom happens to be a very understanding person. So I talked to her. I explained everything to her, and she asked me. She said, "Are you going to be able to make the same money that you were making in the U.S. in Serbia?" I told her no. You know, I told her no, that I won't be able to make as much as I was making. I mean, even if yes, I could, but it's going to take a lot of time, because it's going to take. First of all, you have to learn the language and stuff like that, and gain the trust of the people before you can even get. I mean, it's a very long process, to make that same kind of money. You have to in Serbia to make that kind of money I was making in the US. I mean, I wasn't making that much, but I was making like 2,000 per month, $2,000 a month. And to make that kind of money here, you have to learn a skill. You have to be skilled at something, or you finish university, you have a degree. So I told her it's not going to be that easy. I mean, even my friends were like, "Are you crazy? Why would you leave the US where you're making a good, where you have a good source of income, and go all the way to a white-dominated country, and they're Orthodox. They're Christians, and they don't have black people. And I'm a Muslim, and I'm black, and I'm African. That's kind of like a no-go area.
Okay.
So everyone was like, it's a stupid decision. But I mean, I felt like there's a saying, uh, the devil is better than the angel you don't know. That was kind of like in my case. And that's and that's like, stay back in the US. Yes, it's bad, it's not easy, I mean, it's not safe, but come on. Like, what are the chances? And I'm like, well, I'm going there for 3 months. If it's not good, then I'll come back. you know and that was what I told my mom too. And she didn't push too much, because for her, I'm not a money making machine for her. It's like she only comes to me for money when she has no option. when there's no options left, you know. So at the end of the day, it's my life, and she just kind of she understood me and she let me do it.
Okay.
I mean, my whole family have actually been very supportive with my decisions so far.
Let me do this. I'm gonna just read a few of the super chats. Thank you guys so far for the super chat. Shout out to Arain Knight. He says, "Love the content, brother. Do I have any collard green sandwiches a day? I don't have any of those. It's kind of an inside joke we got going on here. And then we also have another super chat of $2. Let me go ahead and read that off real quick. And that person says, a snicker on me to the guest, please. Thank you, Wise Love, for a 2-hour super chat. Guys, thank you for being here. Thanks for watching and taking into the interview. Let's talk about this. You moved to Serbia, but before you do that, I mean, because me and you talk about because we talk usually it's on business transactions because we're doing business together all the time. But sometimes we talk about the differences, and I look at your Black and Ginger channel, and you're dark skinned Black dude. Your girlfriend or fiance is very white, and I look at your comment section. I don't really see a lot of hate going on there. People seem to be very positive, and
Well,
and and let me ask you this, because in the African American community, I talked to you about this. You're actually ousted if you're a Black man with a white woman. You're pretty much done.
I know.
You're finished. You're considered an outsider. But how did your family take it that you have a woman that's white and she's not a Nigerian, she's not in your culture? How did your family take that?
Yeah, if you remember, like when you asked me if I had friends, African American friends, I told you one thing. I said our upbringing in Africa is different. You know, we're really different. You know, I don't want to say we didn't really experience racism, so we kind of like react to it differently than African Americans, but we're uh we're very welcoming people. You know, we accept some certain kind of changes. You know, so interracial relationships in Nigeria are not actually frowned upon. I mean, there's going to be a few people who will tell you or ask you, is a black woman not enough for you, and all of that. But it's not really frowned upon because I actually took her to Nigeria two months ago. We went home for a 2 weeks vacation back in Nigeria, and the whole time no one said anything bad. You know, it was just beautiful messages, just like it is here in Serbia also. You know, because unlike unlike the United States, in Nigeria we don't have white people. You know, so we don't experience that hate or dislike that you guys might have going on in the US. Just like the same thing here in Serbia, they don't have black people in Serbia.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have that experience of disliking. Like they don't have a reason to dislike the other race, you know? So it's just uh in Nigeria it's just, how do I put it? It's just balanced, you know. No one cares. If you want to date a white person, okay, that's good for you. You know, if you don't want to, okay, that's even good for you also. You know, it's a free wall. You know, so I actually know that it's very hostile when you date a white person in the US, but it's not like that in Nigeria. It's different.
Let me ask you, how her family, took it, that she's gonna bring a guy that's from Africa, Muslim, to Serbia. What was her family's response? And while you're saying that, I'm gonna just turn the camera off, but keep talking and I'll be right back.
Okay. Uh, Actually, I have a video on that topic on my YouTube channel. That's the second video we ever uploaded on our YouTube channel. We actually interviewed my mom and her mom on the channel, and we asked them what were their first thoughts, you know. And her mom said she 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 didn't dislike the idea, but she was a little confused because it wasn't something she was used to. Like it was something she has never experienced before. I mean, she's she's barely been in touch with black people, you know, and now her daughter wants to date a black person. But she said she was a little skeptical about it, but she trusts her daughter. According to her, in her own words, she said she trusts her daughter to make smart decisions, and stupid decisions, so she kind of just went with it. She actually went with it easier than my mom went with it, because when I was living, I mean, my whole life, when we watch American movies,
Mhm.
my mom talks about how much she doesn't want us to get married or date a white person because of uh, not just the white person, even American in general, because the culture is different. Americans are free to. You guys have freedom of speech to say whatever you want to whoever you want to.
Mhm.
But in Nigeria, it's not like that. You cannot say whatever you want to elderly people. I mean, when I say elderly people, even someone older than you with just 2 years, you have to show them respect. You
Mhm.
know, and when you're married to someone, you have to show each other respect. You can't talk back at people. It's not like that in the United States. It's different. So she always said, no white person, no American. And it took me some time to even actually call her and tell her, hey, I'm dating a white girl. And when I finally did, she didn't say anything because she felt we're in the US and it's just a fling. It's gonna end when I come back. you
Mhm.
know but apparently she realized that it's not just a fling. It's not just going to end, and she also had to just trust my decisions and just go
Mhm.
with it. But sorry,
No,
but
no,
after
go ahead. Go ahead.
but after we went back to Nigeria and she got to meet Leon and spent a lot of time together, she actually told me that she said she's very happy that I found her. And in her own words, she said she doesn't think she has met a black woman that can be as nice as Leona was to her.
Uh-oh. Wait, say it again.
She says she doesn't think that she has ever met a black lady that's as nice to her as my girlfriend has been to her.
So your mom said this, that your mom said that she doesn't feel in Nigeria with over 200 million people that you could find a black lady that's as nice as her.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why she made that sentence, and that's because she wasn't expecting someone nice. She wasn't expecting character, but she saw character.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't expecting a cultured lady, and she saw a cultured lady, and that's because I already told her all these things. I taught her all these things. I taught her the culture. I let her know that you don't want to do this because if you do this, they're going to say this, and she didn't want to give a bad impression
Mm-hmm.
also, so she kind of learned everything. She even learned some of the languages and the culture and the way we dress and the way we eat and the way you greet your mom and the way you greet older people and everything, so that's why she made that sentence. It's not the literal meaning, it's just she didn't expect to meet a cultured person and she
Mm-hmm.
met a cultured person. That's why she said what she said.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Let me. Damn, I had a really really good question, but um, let me ask you this. I know what I'm talking about now. You grew up in Nigeria. You've had experiences to date, obviously Nigerian women. I have some friends that said a lot of Nigerian women are just out for money, I mean, maybe like in Lagos. I don't know if it's different where you're at. What's the difference that you see in you dating the Nigerian women when you were in school versus dating the woman that you're with now? What is the difference generally?
Well, I actually didn't date any Nigerian ladies. I mean, I dated a girl when I was in high school, but I was 14 at that time, and we broke up after 2 months, so I don't really count that. But when I was in university, I mean, I tried to get girls. I
Mhm.
had a thing for a few girls. But I had the same thing that comes on. Like there were four different things that girls used as an excuse not to date me. And it was first one is actually very funny. You wouldn't expect that from a black lady.
Okay.
The first one is that I'm too black. That's the first one, that
Okay,
I'm
you
too
too
black.
black. Okay.
Yeah, it's a big pressure in Nigeria.
This is in
When you're black.
Africa. You're too
Yeah,
black.
yeah. That's what I'm telling you. That you wouldn't expect that from a black lady, but I've heard that that I'm too black, and it's a thing in Nigeria for people to go for the lighter skin because they don't want the black people.
Uh-huh.
We're too black for them. They don't want black babies. I'm too black. I'm fat. I mean, I actually lost weight. I used to be 130 kilos, but now I'm 110 kilos. Another reason was I'm too fat, or I'm ugly, or I don't have money, I'm a broke guy, That's how it went.
Let me make sure I understand this right. You're in Nigeria, okay, and you tried to date some African women there, Nigerian women there. You had a thing for them. They tell you, number one, you're too black.
Yeah, Nigerian girls don't want a black guy, a guy who's broke, a fat guy. They like foreign stuff, You're white or you're Black American and you have that accent, then okay, yeah. Or you got money. I mean, it's not all, I'm not gonna generalize. Not all of them,
Yeah.
A very good percentage of Nigerian ladies are like that.
Yeah, but so it's very interesting that you said that because a lot of I've talked to black guys in the UK, talked to black guys in the United States, and wow, black men around the world are saying the same thing.
It's the truth. It's the truth. That's why I just laugh when people start talking about how, or when I hear a black lady talk about how a black lady is not good enough for me, and I'm like, well, I try to show my love, but the ebony girls weren't interested in my love, and I tried something else, and it was reciprocated back to me, I don't know why people in interracial relationships have to get judged, like there's so many things that influence that decision that a lot of people cannot understand. I've suffered a lot of rejection from black ladies, and now I go to a white lady and it works out. Why do I have to explain that? Why do I have to tell you why it's a good decision? They didn't want me before. Why do they want me now? You get my point.
Oh yeah, I get your point. Let me talk to you about in transitioning from that. It's amazing that the black men are saying the same thing all over the world. Let's talk about Serbia, right? Because there was a guy that got killed, not in Serbia, but he was killed in Greece by some Serbians. Did you hear about that?
No.
Okay. So Serbia, people hear that it's dangerous, is racist for black people. Don't go. What were your perceptions? What were you hearing about Serbia before you actually went there for the first time for the 3 months? And talk about the visa process and things like that.
Well, I didn't have to apply for a visa because I still had a valid US visa. So if you have a valid US visa, you can visit countries like Bosnia and Montenegro and Serbia and some other countries too with a valid American visa.
Okay.
So luckily, I didn't have to apply for a visa. I skipped that process and I came straight here. But when I was coming, I actually didn't know anything about this country. All I just knew was it's white dominated and they're all Christians, But I didn't mind because I was just coming to visit and I wasn't coming to just visit like I did in the US. I had a destination. I was going to someone. I was going to stay with a family. People who would take care of me and show me around. So I wasn't too scared. For some reasons, I kind of like trusted them because I was going to my girlfriend. If you're going to a girlfriend, you will feel safe, But as time went on, like my first few days here was kind of really weird because a lot of people were staring at me. Some stared with like what the fuck expression. Some stared with like amazement, when you see something you've never seen before. Some stared and just smiled. Some waved. Some approached me for pictures. Some approached me to ask, "What's your name? What are you doing here? Why did you come here? Do you like it here?" It was really weird. A lot of attention that I didn't like because like the first time we went out, it was like a festival, like a beer festival, and that night we went out and I was in flip flop, Nike slides with sock on. And it's not a thing here to wear Nike slides with a sock on. You have to wear it without a sock on. So a lot of people stared at me, and I was wondering, like, at first I was wondering, like, am I dressed strongly? Is it because of the flip flops? Because my girlfriend told me that when I came here, like, don't wear that. People are gonna stare at you, And after a few stares, some people finally walked up to me, and I finally understood that. Actually, she even told me before I came that when you come to Serbia, you're going to be kind of like a celebrity, like a public figure, because everyone's going to want to talk to you, everyone's going to want to hang out with you. And I didn't believe that, because I mean, I'm like, where in this world is it possible that white people are happy to see a black person? You know, it didn't make any sense to me, you know.
Mhm.
But I mean, I finally started to see it, and I started to understand is they don't have black people here. So when they see one here, they kind of appreciate you coming all the way here, because no one wants to come here, you know. So when they see one coming here, and you're doing fine, you're having a fun time, you're enjoying the food, that just makes them happy. And they're this kind of people who they have a belief that when you have a guest as a host, you have to put the guest before you. Everything comes first with the guest, you
Okay.
know. So that's kind of how my life here has been. I didn't know much when I was coming here, but I'm kind of glad I didn't know much, because if I knew much, I wouldn't end up here. So that's all I knew. They were white dominated, and they're Muslims, and they're Christians, not Muslims.
Let me ask you this. So you're there in Serbia. Um, did you? I mean, you talked about some incidents you had in America with the police, and working at people's racist kind of things. Did you experience anything like that, or have you experienced anything like that in Serbia? Anything negative?
Well, on my channel, I get a lot of bad comments. I mean, you said you didn't see any. That's because I delete them, and that's because a lot. That's because a lot of kids watch my videos, and I don't want kids exposed to that kind of thing. At least not on my channel. If you want to get exposed to that kind of thing, somewhere else. But I don't want you to have to say you learned that from watching my videos. You know, I like to keep my records clean. So that's the reason why I put there's a setting that you do that filters out those bad comments, and you choose to accept them or delete them. I mean, I accept some just to reply them, and some I just delete them because they're too graphic for kids. You know. So here in Serbia, I mean, that's all. I mean, okay, the people are actually very bad with the N word, because they don't know that you shouldn't say that. You know, I mean, they
Mhm.
don't use it in a bad context, but when they see you, they be like, "What's up, man, nigga?" You know, and you have to like, "Hey, that's not cool." You know, don't say that. You know, but they always have to tell you like, "I don't mean it in a bad way." You know, I mean, they are really, really, really real on black culture here in Serbia. They're strong. They listen to hip hop. They watch American movies. Some of them will give you the history of hip hop, and you just be like, "How the fuck did you know that?" You know, they're really real on the black culture. But
Mhm.
that's the only problem I've had. The N word. You know, like
Mhm. Do, do
besides that, nothing.
do people think when they see you that, oh, you're black, that you're from like America? Like I mean, can they differentiate between, like, okay, you're from Nigeria, or you're? 'Cause I know, like here in Poland, it's hard for Polish people to differentiate from like a Caribbean person, or a Nigerian, or African American. Do they have a hard time differentiating you from, let's say, Black African American culture, or?
Well, everyone here thinks I'm American. I don't know why. Probably because I'm black, or probably because of my accent. You know, but everyone, like when I get comments on my channel, they just assume that I'm American. Even those who I meet, they say the same thing. They ask me, "Are you from America?" And always have to tell them, "No, I'm not from America. I just lived there for 1 year."
Mhm. So let's talk about maybe, because financially, I know America is more expensive. Do you think that you actually have more money now, even though things in Serbia are cheaper, or do you have like less money overall? Like, how does that work out?
Overall, I don't even know how to explain it, but the cost of living, as much as the average pay is very low here, the cost of
Mhm.
living is also super super low. You know, I mean, monthly rent here in an apartment, it can't be more expensive than $500, even if you live in the capital. It cannot be more expensive than $500 your monthly rent,
Okay.
and uh, even the bills and everything. I mean, it's way way less expensive. Bills in general are way less expensive here in Serbia. I mean, it's easier to save here if you have a good source of income than to save in the US, because of credit and all that stuff, and bills and everything, and insurance and car payment, and way a lot. Like my rent when I was in the US, I was paying 1,200 per month for rent, just rent. And I still had to pay Wi-Fi bill, a light bill, and you pay insurance for your car and all that. And at the end of the month, you spend $2,000 on just bills. But here it's not even possible. No matter it does. I mean, except if you're living in a very, very, very big ass mansion, then you'd spend $1,000 on living per month. Because even the food here is cheap. Everything here is cheap. I mean, the average pay matches the cost of living, so it's way cheaper to live here than to live in the U.S. It's even way better if you make money in the U.S. but you live here.
I see. So how much do you spend on like internet and how much do you spend on like internet per month living there?
I actually don't pay for my internet, so I don't know much about that information.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a deal that I do that for my phone internet. Actually, I pay $3, actually €3, and I get 1 GB for 1 week.
Wow.
Yeah, for one
That's
week
pretty
you
good.
get 1 GB. So it's like in a month, if you're going through, and you still get with that €3, you get 3 minutes and free text messages too. So you can make phone calls, you can make you can send text messages, and you still have 1 GB for 1 week. So if you convert that, that's like €12 a month for 4 GB of internet and phone calls. You know, it's not expensive at all. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how it goes for Wi-Fi because I don't pay my Wi-Fi bills, so I don't know how much that is. But I should actually check all that details and probably make a video about it.
Okay. Okay. And then I guess what I want to know is, I mean, having the visa. I mean, you left Serbia for 90 days. You went. Did you? Sorry, you went for 90 days, right? Did you go back to the USA and get some things and then come back to Serbia, or how did you do it?
I didn't come back.
You just stayed.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of, like I said, I left hoping to come back, but I was also hoping not to come back. The main reason of leaving in the first place was because I don't feel safe here. So when I left, I sold my car, I sold my stuff. I mean, only things that I left with was stuff that I needed, like my clothes and my shoes and my Xbox and my laptop. But my car, I sold my car. Uh, I cut my rent. I cut all my credit cards. I cut everything. I paid off all my bills. I made sure I cleared everything before leaving. So I had a feeling I knew I wasn't going to come back. That was the plan, not to come back, but still to leave my options open.
Let me ask you this: could you ever go back to the United States?
If I wanted to, yes.
What would the process be like? Since I mean, I'm sure is your visa expired already, or
Yeah, it's expired now. I'd have to apply again.
what do you think it would be? Do you think it'd be hard to get another one, or?
It's actually going to be hard. It's harder. It's easier for someone going. I mean, it's not easier, but it's the same thing. It's 50-50. If you're going for the first time, it's 50-50. If you're going again, it's 50-50 because they have this idea that you've gone, you've seen how it is, you've made every preparations, and now you want to go back and not come back again.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So it doesn't. I mean, it helps that you've been there before and you're back, but it also doesn't help. It's like I said, it's 50-50.
Hmm. Let me ask you this because what your skill set and I mean obviously you got some experience. A lot of people will wonder like, well, man, why don't you not go back to Nigeria? I mean, there's so many Nigerians that are doing well, and Nigeria has so much opportunity. You ever thought do you think about you ever go back to Nigeria and do some of the stuff like can you do what you're doing right now in Serbia in Nigeria?
Like I said earlier, I mean, it's connections. You need to know people who know people. If you don't know people who know, and for you to know people who know people, you need money. You need money to know people because
Mhm.
people don't want to know people who don't have money. So you need money to know people. So even yeah, I actually have a plan of investing. I have a plan of making some money and investing here in Serbia because I'm starting to get some connects, with my channel and me being as a black person, I get to meet people that I wouldn't meet on a regular day,
Okay.
as a,
Okay.
as a public figure. So I'm building my connections already, and
my plan is to invest here at the end of, because let me not talk about my investment, but that's my plan, and also it's the same thing. After I invest here, make some more money, then I'll go back to Nigeria and think about investing there, because at that time I'll have enough money to make the connects that I need.
Let me ask you, since you've been there, what has been the opportunities that your YouTube channel has opened the door for you to do in Serbia to make money? How has that helped you?
Well, first and foremost, like when I uploaded my first YouTube video, it was very bad. The picture quality was bad, the editing was bad, a lot of things were bad. But over time, for 1 year now, I have edited, for just my channel, I've edited 93 videos, and
Okay.
I've also I've had the chance to make ads and videos for other people. So my YouTube channel has actually opened. It has given me a platform to learn a skill. Like even with graphic designing, I had no idea about graphic designing, but after my girlfriend traveled, I had to start making my own thumbnails myself. So I had to learn that also. So now I know how to make thumbnails, I know how to edit videos, I know how to do a lot of things that I couldn't do before I started my channel. And just in the process of making my own YouTube channel, people watch my videos and they like the way I edit, and I get calls. Like there's actually a plan I'm supposed to shoot a music video for someone just by watching my channels, and he likes the way I shoot my channel. He wants me to shoot a hip hop music video for him, and I've made sponsored videos for so many different businesses here in my city, and I've made in Belgrade too. I've made for fashion bloggers, I've made for fashion stores, I've made for clubs, I've made for parties, house parties. I've made so many, and all through YouTube.
Okay, so business is good for you in Serbia. Then it seems like.
Yeah, it's good for me. People like my skill and people want to hang out with me. So it's like I'm giving two values at the same time, basically.
Okay, yeah, and you've been doing a hell of a job on my thumbnails, man. Like I don't really have the time to do them, and the first 50 you guys did, it really looked good. It really has improved my channel. So people have been congratulating me on the thumbnails. Yeah, it's been because and they work, man. I noticed that when I do the thumbnails and we put in people don't know about YouTube. The thumbnail is really the most important part
Yeah.
of the video. You have to plan the thumbnail out before you do the video, and that's something that I really didn't realize. And with working with you, even though it costs money to do it, it really helps. Yeah, it really helps. It really helps promote the video out there, and it gives people the title and the thumbnail, and then in the content. It really helps a lot. So yeah, man, you're very talented, especially with the thumbnails, man, and editing. So yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
doing a really good job. So I guess what I want to know, I won't keep you out too much longer, but what content should we be expecting from you? On your channel. I know you talk a lot about Serbia. What do you plan on doing for the remainder of the year or in 2019?
My channel is about two things. It's about my relationship with my girlfriend, how it's going, how the challenges we face, the different challenges. This first 1 year has been like the introductory part. Who am I? Who is she? We getting to learn our languages. We getting to learn our cultures. That's what the first part has been. Another part, the part where it's heading towards is basically just uh, showing people that it's not easy, but you can make it work. Like in the latest video I just uploaded, because our channel was 1 year old yesterday, and I made a video and we had an interview also. Uh, a lot of people, like you said, a lot of interracial couples are outcasted, and it's like what I said in that interview, in that video. I said we're trying to tell people that life is not all about just facing one way and doing things the way people do them.
Mm-hmm.
There's more to life than just going one way. And the thing is, whether you do what you want or you do what other people want, people are still going to judge you.
Yeah.
You cannot make everyone happy. So why not put your own happiness first. You know, put your happiness first. But make sure while putting your happiness first, you're not hurting anybody else. And I don't see how dating outside your race is hurting anybody else. You know, so do your own thing. Do what you want. You know, that's what we're trying to show on our channel, that we're doing what we like. You know, and that's the way it's heading. Another purpose of that channel is to, like, I mean, like you said, a lot of people have bad things to say about Serbia. I wouldn't think of anything good to say about Serbia if I wasn't living in Serbia. You know, I mean, I've come here and these people have been nice to me. They've welcomed me. You know, like yesterday was my birthday also. You know, I mean, it was really crazy. You know, I didn't get this much love. You know, both people I invited and people I didn't invite came home to visit me, and they all brought presents for me. You know, and it's like I want to, like, kind of like change that stereotype that people have about Serbs. You know, and I'm just going to talk about my daily life here. You know, the things I'm learning, what's happening with my life here. You know, so basically, I'm going to, like, it's supposed to be like a tour guide. You know, so my channel is supposed to be like a go-to tour guide. You want to come to Serbia, you want to know some things about Serbia, you want to know a little about their culture, go to my channel. You will learn something there, basically, because I have so many different playlists. You know.
Okay. All right. So yeah, man, you have some very interesting content, you know, like I said, about Serbia, and you know, some good stuff, brother. And again, I'm glad that you know, I found you on the site there, and we've been working. You're, you know, like I said, you've been really helping my channel out, and we're gonna do some things. I'm gonna come to Serbia and kick it with you. Thank you for your time, man. Thank you for the thumbnails. And you know, like I said, hopefully we'll be back. I'll be introducing you to some people. And I think this is your first interview, right? I mean, with another YouTuber, like on Hangout.
This is my first collab, actually.
First collab. All right. All right. So yeah, man. So again, and I know that sometimes you check out the channel, you know that I'm always putting a lot of content and stuff like that. So yo, thanks guys. Go ahead, make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. Go into the description, subscribe, go over and check him out. Let everybody know that that you seen him from my channel. This is Salman from the Black and Ginger YouTube channel there. Anything else you want to say to your new fans that you're going to be having?
Well, first, I just want to say thank you very much. If you're already subscribed, thank you very much. I appreciate the love. Like I said, when we started this channel, it wasn't supposed to get this big at all. You know, it was supposed to just be for fun, and the support has just been crazy. You know, I really appreciate it. I'm lost for words. I don't even know what to say. But all I can just say is just thank you. I mean, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification, and I promise you will not regret your decision.
All right. And again, guys, thanks so much. Thanks again, Salman, for coming on. Guys, see you later on tonight on the Brother Pill, and peace out.